Hello?
Shkoyach for joining us.
Yeah, we're getting
Shkoyach, can you hear us?
Yeah. Now I hear you
Okay,
good.
very good. We're starting the third Pedic in Maseches Brachos. It's Daf Yud Zayin Amud Beis.
So Eitzah or Adama?
If Daf Yud Zayin Amud Beis. L'chaim, l'chaim.
Chaim, l'chaim.
Sorry. Shkoyach Menachem for joining us.
Yeah, I thought I missed it.
It's really sweet. Okay, good. Okay, so the Mishnah, so Mut Lefonim. A person who has a mace that is in front of him, it's his mace. In other words, one of the 7 mason that the Torah says that a kohen would have to become tummy for. So this person is potter mekrishma menatfila mekol mitzvahs amuras b'Torah. He's potter from all the mitzvahs. Why is he potter from all the mitzvahs? Rashi says lefi shehu tored b'machshavas kavurasei v'havadum yedachasen the potter mishum tirde the mitzvah. He's torud in a mitzvah. And generally, the Rishonim talk about this in the context of the sugya of oisig mitzvah potter min mitzvah. Talk about this a little more soon. And the Rishonim also, the Ben Yonah says from Rashi's mashma l'chayda that it's similar to a chosen. Just like by a chosen, he said that we said the chosen is very busy the first night. But if he really wants, he can read Krishma. Same thing here. Mashma from Rashi that if he's responsible for a mace, say its father, Rahmat, son, his mother, his brother, his sister, his son and daughter, so his wife. So he's potter. But if he wants, he could. But many of the Rishonim argue, and they say no. It's clear in Tosfos. It's not optional. It's he's not allowed to. He's not allowed to. He's mechuyev not to take care of the mess. Right. So we'll have to talk about this in Mitzvah Shem. In those days, it wasn't just one phone call. So, right. Zog the Mishnah, Noisa Mita, the people that are carrying the Mita, V'chilufayim, V'chilufayim, they're the people that are carrying the Mita. Again, those days they didn't have a car, so they carried the Mita. Even today, but in the cemetery there is from the car till the Buddha, they carry the Mita. So there's the people that are carrying, and then the people on the side that will, when it gets too heavy for the people that are carrying, follow them. All these people are involved in the mitzvah of the burial, which is a mitzvah. So the din is like this: if they're in front of the mitzvah and there's a tzorech, so they're potter from the krishma tefillah. Those that are behind the mitzvah, even though there's a tzorech b'hem, even though we need them, it's chayavim. Why? Even though we need them, they're chayavim. So so the Tosfos talks about it. The Farshim talk about this. So let's first learn it. Everyone wanted to have the schus to carry the mace, so there would be other people that would exchange. So we say there's the people those that already carried the mitzvah and those that didn't carry the mitzvah. Those that already carried that didn't carry a shalif nemita and it's tzorech b'hem and tzirich l'asar sabturim even if they would need them. Since they already did their mitzvah. What's up pshat? They're gonna doing the mitzvah. So Rashi, the Tosfos says, "Hochi godes Rashi." Rashi doesn't exactly say this. We don't have it in our Girs and Rashi. Maybe he's explaining it. Or he did a different Rashi. Because it wasn't so rugged that they would have them carry anymore. The people, there were a lot of people that wanted to carry. There were a lot of people that wanted to carry. So, so those that are behind already, they're out of the mitzvah because it was not at a gilus that they would give it to them again. So the mela, they're not a chelik from the mitzvah. The pashtus, they're not gonna call on them. The afila tzrichelahem. What does it mean afila tzrichelahem? The Mishnah doesn't say the word afila. Rashi adds afila. Which is printed in our Mishnah is much easier giris than the Mishnah. Shalifna mita, shalachina mita. As shamita tzrichelahem. If the mita needs carriers, so those people are potter. Doesn't matter. They already carry. They will carry. But if there is not enough men to carry, and we need a few strong men, so even if they stopped for a minute, but they're needed to carry the mace, they're carrying the coffin. So they're potter. If the coffin doesn't need so many people, and these people are just there, so then chayavim. Yeah, it takes change the gears. I mean, I'm a chuyiv to do that. So, the emphasis depends how you hold. What's your attitude over here? If you hold like Rashi, so you're right. If you hold like Rashi, that this is dumya de chosen, and this is only because they Torah do machshavas kvura, so you're probably right that if they have the option to delay the kvura, that they should. And the Mishnah is talking about that they didn't have the option. It's getting dark, for whatever reason. You're right. But if you don't like Tosfos, there's a long Tosfos here. But Tosfos disagrees with Rashi, and he says that Chazal were machayev for two reasons. And also because it was scared that no one will be masasik with the mess, they're busy with the mitzvah. And things will get delayed. So the Chazal, they established that this should be the mitzvah. We're now going to push away kol mitzvahs and what is b'Torah. So it doesn't sound like you have the option to do it. In other words, Rashi is medamet, like I said before from Ben Yonan, Rashi medamet to chosen, just potter. But if he wants, he could. If he's like a Gamliel, even when he got married, he decided to read Kishma. He said, "I'm not Torah." But Tosfos says there's two reasons that Mishum Kovid and Shemish Isasik boy. So it sounds like there's no option over here. Another 1 second. Let's finish. Cover the sameis once they already buried them. Oh, pturim mi not tefillah. The older people at the Levaya are potter from tefillah. Ishma, it's a question. They are like Rashi or Tosfos. Are they part of the mitzvah of the burial? Not part. But whoever is at the Levaya, either way, those people are walking with the mita are all potter min atfila. Why? I love their Raisi, so Chazal patted them. The Rebbe said, Rashi said, because the big deal, they'll daven later. The tefillah has another hour going later, so so it's a hocha b'maya skin, and so what's if they can't daven later? That wouldn't be this ptur. So Rashi says that's not lashon ptur means potter. It's an absolute. So therefore, he likes the answer that all the people at the funeral, Chazal said that we don't want them to daven. We patted them for daven. Chazal made a mitzvah to daven 3 times a day. Chazal said whoever goes to the funeral should not daven feeling gendik. The Ritva gives another teretz. He says because you can't have a funeral going on b'shas the tefillah. If the krishma, so people could walk and say krishma. But tefillah, what are they going to do? So they're not part of the funeral anymore. It's not covered amaze. So some people are going, some are coming. Are you coming? Are you going? So it's not a funeral. So therefore, and Amam says nichas tefillah that they're toted with the lavaya. Krishma is a shorter thing, and they could. Some people that are not to need it for the mitzvah, they could say krishma, but tefillah is too much. Therefore, Chazal said that they're potter. Let's continue in the Mishnah. Cover it's a maze.
Why Chosin is Pasuk Krishma if we're saying the Tam? We're saying Chosin Pasuk Krishma because it's Torah. But if you say by Yames Krishma is something small, we'll tell you Chosin some or the same thing. Chosin, it's something small, it's Shema.
It's only small for the people that are the Levaya, not the people that are carrying the mitzvah. The people that are carrying the mitzvah are more, they're more torud. Because you have to pay attention. If you're not going to carry the mitzvah straight, the mitzvah is going to turn over upside down. And the chosin also is much more torud. The other people at the levaya that are not carrying the mitzvah are not so torud. But the chosin is very torud. Chosin is super duper torud.
So do they have a din as an oinus?
No, it's not an oinus. Oinus is something which is a different thing. This is the different. Most of the Rishonim, I will talk about this soon. See this sugya, in the sugya of oisik min mitzvah, poter min mitzvah. That's not in your oinus. Chassidus says that the pshat of oisik min mitzvah, poter mitzvah is that all the taryag mitzvahs are really connected. So really, when you're doing one mitzvah, you're doing all the taryag mitzvahs. So you're now doing the mitzvah. So the other mitzvah you're doing now. When you're doing this mitzvah, you're doing the other mitzvah. Sagt the Mishnah, covers some mates, once they already did the mitzvah burial, so now there's a different mitzvah. There's a mitzvah of nichum avelim. The minig is that after the kfura, that the people stand in a shura, and the menachem the ovel. So now, after they bury the maize, if they could start and finish krishma before they get to the shura, it take time till they form the line, till that I'm going to come. They could manage to say up the whole krishma. Eschilu, they should start. What does it mean they should start and then stop, or only if they could do the whole thing? Not so simple. Pasha's talking about that person, yeah. Those that are standing in the shura, facing the maze, they're potter. Chetzonim, those are standing in the back. So the maze doesn't, it's not so much important for the, it's nice that there was 100 people there at the funeral, and 50 people are standing on one side, 50 on the other, and they say, Amokim Yanachem Eschem. But it doesn't have to be that all 100 people are screaming Amokim Yanachem Eschem. But the people in the front line is in the chain. And what kind of Nicham Avelim is that? That's not Nicham Avelim. That's so they're not being Menachem the Ovel. So the people that are standing in the inner line, that are facing the Avelim as they're walking past, they can't say Krishma because they're doing now the mitzvah of Nicham Avelim, which is an unbelievable thing, because the mitzvah of Nicham Avelim, in other words, is pushing away the mitzvah. The Bemis is the Rishonim that say the Nicham Avelim is a mitzvah sederaisa. The truth is, even the Rishonim, like the Rambam, who says that these things are the Rabbanon, the details of it are the Rabbanon. The Rabbanon always get touched. They said that you should do for another Yid what you would like that another Yid should do for you. If Chas v'Shalom a Yid is not feeling well, he likes this Chavedim should come visit or give him a call. V'chulu v'chulu. So Chachamim explained. Some always get touched. What are the inyan of v'hafta l'reacha kamoicha? While you're doing it, you're not doing mitzvah derabanan. You're doing mitzvah deraisa. You're doing a mitzvah deraisa. V'hafta l'reacha kamoicha. So therefore, again, oisik v'mitzvah poter min mitzvah. Chazal said that we want you to do the mitzvah right. If the Avelim are going to walk and the people are going to be mumbling Krishma, then that's not really Nicham Avelim. So they're not being Menachem them. So therefore, better that they should not say Krishma and push away Krishma, Tefillin, Kol HaMitzvahs HaMoros B'Torah. Before we start, the brackets really shack to the next Mishnah. Before we start the Gemara, two important nekudas. Number one, if you look in the gist of our Gemara, it says Misha Mesa Mutalafana Potter Mekishma Filam and Filam Kol Mitzvahs More Better, all the mitzvahs. And that's like our girsa. So according to this, why did we say Dafka these three? Krishma, Tefillah, Tefillin? Because these are very important mitzvahs, and it's a dogma from three very important mitzvahs. Krishma, Tefillah, Tefillin are very important mitzvahs, so we gave a dogma of these three mitzvahs. We gave a dogma. These are mitzvahs chamuris. But if you look in the Mishnah, the gears over there is Krishma and Tefillah and Tefillin. So some Rishonim say that they're not part from all the mitzvahs mamish. Will be on, will be off as a Debstel. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So according to that gis, the Rishonim say, the pshat is like this: these three mitzvahs need a lot of kavana. Krishma is a kabbalah shel malchus shamayim. We spoke about the Alter Rebbe, it's not stam. Also tefillah requires a strong amount of kavana. Tefillin is they have to have a gufnoki. These three mitzvahs have an extra special kavana. A person can't do that mitzvah and also do avodas hameis or nichum avelim. These three mitzvahs impossible. Other mitzvahs he could do. So he's doing it with a half a heart. He could manage to do other mitzvahs. After these three things is potter. Okay. They're not good. They take out. They just say Misha Mesa Mutalafana Potter, Krishma, Tefillin. Rashba actually has a poshta kasha. Tefillin. We there's nothing to do with Misha Mesa Mutalafana. We said we learned from Yecheskel. The first day, Oval doesn't wear tefillin. So Misha Mesa Mutalafana. So he says number one. He says it's a gavur chataka. It's a gavorcha. We know already from Yecheskel. Then he says there's a chidush here that here we're talking about b'shasha meisei mutalafana. And then from Peicha Chavah we learn that even afterwards, not only meisei but even afterwards. Okay, let's open the Gemara. So again, let's read the Mishnah very quickly. Misha Meisa Mutalafanav, a person that has one of his mace, which is one of the seven mace, a kohen would be chayiv to become tummy for. A father, mother, brother, sister, daughter, or son, or wife. So all these mesa, Mutalafanav, Potem, Krishma, and Atfilim, Kol Mitzvah, More B'Torah. Noisa Mitzvah, V'chilafim, V'chiluf V'chilafim, that these people are all involved in the mitzvah. And we say, Eshalifna Mitzvah, Eshalachna Mitzvah, they're all involved in the mitzvah. So the din is, Eshalifna Mitzvah, Tzaraban Potter, Eshalachna Mitzvah, even if, according to Rashi, Afila Tzaraban is Chayovan, because the people that are in front of the mitzvah, they're about to do the mitzvah, so we need them to be available. The people that already did it, unlikely they're going to get the kibbud again, and even if they get the kibbud again, it's their kibbud, it's not for the mace. So they're chayiv in all the mitzvahs. Either way, whoever's at the funeral, Eilav Eilav Pturim in Atfila, cover the mace once they bury the mace and they're doing the mitzvah of Nichma Velam, they should start Krishma. I'm the Shur Pnimim Pturim, Chatzarim Chayav. Look, the Gemara, Mutalafana V'in, Shem Mutalafana V'loy, it's mashma, only while the mace is sitting there. I have a question. We learned Nabraisa Misha Mesa Mutal. A person that the mace is mutalafon of oichlo bais acher. He used to eat. He's not allowed to eat in that same room because the pashtos it's loyeg. It's called loyeg larosh. It's the mace needs people should be masasik with his pura.
If you're being a
No.
if you're being a shomer for a mace, you're not allowed to say Tehillim?
No, Tehillim is something else. Tehillim is something else. We'll talk about this in a minute, about a shomer. Not Tehillim is something else. Because Tehillim, Bepashtus, is a chelik of the Shmira. Tehillim is a chelik of the Shmira. We're talking about what we're going to be talking about soon, about a shomer that wants to eat a sandwich, or maybe if he wants to learn Torah. But Pashtus, the Tehillim is a chelik in the Shmira. Even though the Gemara is going to say soon, the Pashta Indian of Shmira of the mace is not what we think spiritual thing. Also true. But the Gemara is going to say the din of is the Meshama the mace from Achborim. It's an unbelievable bizoyan for a human being to be that the Machborim should be Chas v'Sholom desecrating the mace. That's what we're going to learn later about if there's no Chash Machborim, that the Shomer is allowed to walk away to say Krishma. Yeah, Mickey Mouse. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly like the story. Right. I don't know that the thing by Ashkenazim not. I don't know. There is such a thing that's brought in the Aminik Ashkenazim not to take something out of the bais oval, but that's to take a sandwich and to wrap it up like by a pidyon and take it home. But to eat it there, bais oval, I don't think so. I think it's just that Svarda maybe had this custom. Maybe they had like a little. They had. Yeah. Like I tell you what I think. I don't know. I'm not.
They put out a whole bunch of food. They put out food and fruits.
Ashkenazim. Right, the Ashkenazim till very recently, most Ashkenaz places didn't have what to eat for supper. So culturally, they didn't have food to bring to the base of Ova. So it was not such a done thing. Maybe Sfardim, that more had Baruch Hashem what to eat for supper. So right, here.
When you're saying Beisa Aval,
Right.
When you're saying Beisa Aval, this is when the mace is still there when he was just nifta, or this is after he was already after the crew?
Yes. We're talking about when the mace is there. We're talking about the mace here. I'm sorry, we went a little bit here and there, but back here, we're talking about when the mace is there. Let's start again the Gemara. The Mishnah says that the mace is mutal, is sitting right there. So, for the Gemara, is that difference if the mace is sitting here or not? We learned Mishnah mace mutal lefonav. Oichel bebayis acher, remain lebayis acher. Oichel bebayis chavere. Not allowed to eat in the same place as the mace. The machloikis in the Shulchan Aruch, the Prisha says bias. Doesn't mean bias. Bias means cheder. As long as the cheder is good. And, it says remain lebayis acher. Oichel bebayis chavere. If he doesn't have another bias, what do you mean? Does I go to the other room? Alamai. Okay. Mainly bias acher oichel bebayis chavere. And alamai means the whole bias. I say no, it means the cheder. Remain loy bias. He's living among goyim. He doesn't have a chaver who lives on the block that he can go eat in his house. Should build up a machitza. He can't build up a machitza. Max a ponim, we should turn this ponim at least and eat towards the other side of the room. Either way, he's not mesiv. He doesn't eat the chashivus, like he eat by the seder. Because Chazal didn't want him to get busy with tainugim. He'll start eating wine and drinking wine, eating meat. He's going to forget that he has to be busy now taking care of the mace. Now he doesn't make any brachas. He doesn't do zimun. Rashi says that if you don't bring someone else to be moitzim the brach Oh, so that's so. Oh, 1 second. Oh, because mashma that so that's what the Gemara is going to try to figure out. It's mashma makes no difference. Way. So the Gemara is going to say. Shabbos meisav oichel basav yeshoisi ayin mevarach mazamnen mevarach lav mazamnen lav chay b'chol mitzvos amor b'toira. Shabbos we say no that because Shabbos he can't. The whole thing is that Chazal wanted that he should be busy to take care of the maze. Shabbos he can't take care of the maze anyway. So Chazal said, what's the point? The whole reason we said it is to take care of the maze. But Shabbos you can't take care of the maze. So you could eat boss. Make sure that he gets tachrichim and he gets bundled up properly and they go dig the thing. Oh, so that's someone asked. That Shaila is about today. If you already got the crew and you call them, and there's nothing more to do, right? Okay, so that's. But here we're talking about in the Shas when they not necessarily had a crew, so people went out with shovels. There's a lot to do.
Yeah,
right? They also didn't have freezer. But that doesn't make a big difference because it's not covered for the mace to sit in the freezer anyway. The freezer is only a Shaila can ask later. We're going to talk about the Shemitah. We're going to say, today we have a freezer. And they close the door so there's no achbarim. So you're not mechuyev maybe to do Shemitah. But to say that you can put them in a refrigerator, but it's not covered because it has to get buried. But you could say, but there is things with manazeh, which is a machlok, that you give over, you delegate it. Maybe now you should be able to do mitzvahs. That we have to deal with. That's like a good kasha. So Reb Shimon Gamliel says, "Metoshim is chayiv elu," that once he's chayiv on Shabbos and these mitzvahs, and he eats meat, he drinks wine, he's chayiv b'chulin, he's chayiv everything, everything. The Tanakama also said he eats meat, drinks wine, he does all the mitzvahs. What else is Rav Shimon Gamliel adding to it? What is he adding? Tash Mishamita, Ika Benayu. That Rav Shimon Gamliel is adding that you also have to have Shmishamita, which is two ways of learning it. Tanakama felt that we didn't want to let him add to the kach. The person that has a mace to take care of. So we said you could drink wine, eat meat, you could do everything, but Tash Mishamita now. But Shimon Gamliel says also Tash Mishamita. Or maybe it's a totally different thing. Also Shaila and the Gis and Rashi. Rashi says, Ike benayu l'Reb Shimon chayiv evel ba'oinu b'Shabbos. It's a different. Sounds like a different machloikas over here. Tanakama says that there's no chiyuv on Shabbos to have oina with his wife. Shimon Gamliel kilum l'shitase. He holds that there's no chiyuv to have oina. It's incidental. It's nothing to do with it. It's not a machloikas about avelus. Machlok is about chiyuv oina. And Akama holds that the Shabbos is it's suggestive. Oinik Shabbos, it's a nice thing, but it's not chiyuv like in mitzvah. Hashem Gamliel holds no, it's chayiv because it's a chiluk of oinik Shabbos. Yeah. Right, not after right. No, well, that's what he holds. He holds on Shabbos. He's chayiv. Tony Mia is potem mikdishma menatfilim chol mitzvah b'toira. We said so that this person that has a mace is potem mikdishma menatfilim chol mitzvahs. We said when it came to eat, he said, "Oh, it depends. If you could go to another house, if you can't, you turn your face." But otherwise, it sounds like he's potem mikdishma menatfilim chol mitzvah b'toira. It makes some difference. A mace and mutal fun or not. The Papa said, you have to explain, you have to say that we're talking about in the case, the Mishnah said to go into a different house and eat. If you don't have a different house and you have no choice, you can eat in the same room. So while you're eating in the same room, that's what the Braisa meant. And the Mishnah Braisa the same thing. He's bought only when he's in the presence of the mace. No. Doesn't matter if the presence of the mace is not. Even shemuta lalav l'koivroi, because it's the person's obligation to go bury the mace. Kemuta l'fan of dami. It's as if the mace is sitting in front of him. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk. Vayakam Avram al pnei meisai. B'nemar. Ve'ekbre meisim milafone. So what's the pshat? He walked away from Sarah and he walked to the people of Achiti. They walked to the people of Chiti, and that's clear in the pasuk. The pasuk says that he walked away and he walked to them and he had a meeting with them, and he talks to them. He says, "Eker meisim milafone," but the mace is not lafonav right now. Elamai. You must say that the pshat is. As long as it's his obligation to go take care of the burial, it's as if it's mutalafana. Okay. So according to the Bashi, it's all resolved. The Mishnah, the Braisa, mamish, no question, no stira machal. When we say Misha Mesa mutalafana, it doesn't mean that the mace is sitting in front of his nose in the same room. There's one in the seven that he's obligated to take care of their funeral or being involved in their funeral. So Chazal said, we don't want you getting busy with other mitzvahs. So, right? And that's where mutal lefanav. Mutal doesn't mean that they're sitting in the same room. Mutal lefanav means a mutal lefanav, in front of him is mutal the chiyuv to take care of their burial, and that's when there's patam and kol mitzvahs amur the betoira. So there's no question. The Mishnah B'rais is saying exactly the same thing. Okay, now the Gemara is going to expand on this. What it says Mesa. What's up Pshat Mesa? What's up Pshat Mesa? It's mashma only when it's one of the mason that he's obligated to take care of. Mesa what's if he's Mashamar a mace? It's not his obligation, but he's just, there was another yid and he's guarding it. So over here we won't say the cloud is patam kol mitzvah amur b'torah. But it's not true. But Tanya will not nabraisa mashamar sameis. So the Gemara answers, no. Mashamar alpha b'sheni meis, meis alpha b'sheni mashamar. If he's a mashamar of the meis, it doesn't matter. Any yid that's doing right now the mitzvah of guarding a yiddish meis that you shouldn't chas b'shalom be in this navel, shouldn't come with the nivel. So he's now Isaac mitzvah. He's part of the mitzvahs. He doesn't do any other mitzvah. When it's Mesa, even it's not sitting in the same room, even if he's not, but he's obligated to take care of the burial. He's part of a mitzvah amur b'torah. Oh, so you told me two people that are part from doing the mitzvahs. Mesa or Meshamre. In these two people, we say it's true that there's a rule that part of a mitzvah amur b'torah. Ava mahalach b'veis hakvaris. If a person was just walking b'veis hakvaris, it's not his mace. He's not Meshama the maze. Over there, we don't say that he's potter. He's chayv all the mitzvahs as regular. It's not so simple. It's chayv all the mitzvahs as regular. A person shouldn't walk in the basic quarters with tefillin that he's walking with a tefillin and he's reading Krishma or reading Torah, psukim Torah. If he does this, that he's laughing to the Rosh. Rosh, who's the Rosh? Is the mace. He can't do mitzvahs, and he's making a latzonas. He's laughing at the Rosh, at the mace. The Rosh ain't called. He has nothing. He can't do mitzvahs. So the Gemara, Hasam toich arba amesu the osir. What's arba ames chayiv? Over there, it's only a question. He's walking within the dalad ames of a cave there. But if he was walking outside the dalad ames, then when a person has a mace or person's guarding the mace, is potter in the midst. He's doing now again. The people, they take turns. One person is Meshama the mace, the other person reads Krishma, and then they exchange. If they're we're going in a svina, they both walk away to another zavis. Even though it's not that hard, one person could take turns, but they say if there's a svina, it doesn't matter. My benayu, Amaravina, what's the svaris difference between and the benaza? Amaravina, choishin lachboni miku benayu. The chiluk and the svaris achloikis is the choishish for the achbonim that will come into svina. Ma'asav cheshinan, ma'asav cheshinan. One opinion holds we're not choishish. The benaza says we're all over the world you have achbonim. Boats. Unless you saw when you got on the boat, you see there's achbonim. In the days of old Taka, there was svinas that were filled with achbonim. But you went on the boat, you knew there was achbonim. But to stand be choishish that there's achbonim, you don't have to be choishish. But if there's no achbonim, there's no achbonim. There is. So there's no achbonim. But as it says, you can go to the other side of the svina and you don't have to guard the mace. But Tanakama says no. You never know that there might be an achbar hiding somewhere, and you don't know. But the achbar is going to come when everyone's going to walk away from the mace. The achbar is going to appear, and it'll be a desecration of the mace. So therefore, mukhif to be mishama the mace. What we see from here, as I said, we today think of a shmida of a mace also as a ruchnis dikinyan, say tehillim, as to do with the neshama, to comfort the neshama, and that all these things are true, and they're brought in Sifrei Hadida, and do. But upon the base of the whole thing is that this is a body of another yid. It's a guf kodesh of another yid, and Mamela we're mishame. It's a shchun chas v'sholem be touched by an achbar. Person that brings that summers of a mace and he's traveling from place to place. And is a low yitim bedaskia. You shouldn't put them in a leather bag. Just throw them on top of the chamoy, ride on them. It's a meaning bezoyan. The bones of a yid, treat it this way as a package from UPS. Now list them, but if you skip it because the nochrim, the list them, muti is allowed to do it. They said the same thing. We go to Sefer Torah Matzomas, well, you have to tell me that Sefer Torah, you're not allowed to throw in a bag and sit on it. The Yid, the emesis, the Yid is doing it to Sefer Torah. So, but still, if you told me by one, you don't have to tell me the other. Hello, a Sefer. It's talking about the Sefer. That there's a kula that buy a Sefer Torah. If there's a problem, that if goyim, so he's allowed to put in the bag and treat it like a regular bag. No, not to sit on it. They were sitting on it. It's not the covered. But if the goyim are going to see that the official covered, and they're going to say, "Oh, we want to see. Maybe you're hiding something." So then. And the person wants it should look like it's a sack of potatoes. So this way the guy won't bother. There's a lot to do it. Even the lachoida, it's a hepach covered for the mace. A person that sees a mace and he doesn't join the levaya, it's a loig because you have to be mal with the mace. Mitzvah to be mal with the mace. If you're in the vicinity and you see a levaya, if a yid goes to and joins the levaya, maschore, amarbasi all of a kosa, malva Hashem choinen dal, amachab the choinen evian. So poshtiv shat is that when a yid is choinen dal and it's choinen evian, so the Eibishter takes care of him. Or maybe the pshat is malva Hashem. He's giving a avot to the Eibishter through choinen dal. So the Gemara. I have a shakli v'azl bebesek forest that these two amiram were going in the cemetery because Shad did chilta. Rabbi Yonasan had tchelis on it, tzitzis on it. Was carrying tzitzis in the cemetery. Amar lei Rebchia Dalia, pick up your tzitzis. They shouldn't be dragging on the floor. They shall yomer that the mason should say locher by him. It's leinu. Tomorrow these guys are coming here because no one got out of this place alive. So they're going to come. Eventually, they'll end up in Eretz Chaim. They're laughing at us because Mason cannot do the mitzvahs. They know this. They know nothing. They don't know what's going on with them. They don't know anything. We'll leave it for next week. I mean, the Gemara anyway, but next week we're going to get so much into it. This is a very big shaklavatalia that the Gemara opens up here, like a can of worms. The Gemara is going to talk about it and get a little more into it. But there's a lot throughout the Dodos, the shaklavatalia. How much connection does a mace have, and how much interest does a mace have in what's going on by his friends and family in this world, or disinterest? So anyway, but the pasuk Kehela says, they don't know anything. So he asked him, what do you mean? The pasuk says the Mesa Men the Muma. They don't know it. They don't care to know. So what's the difference? I'm walking with tzitzis in the cemetery. If you learn, you never chaz it. So you forget. You didn't chaz it ein good. Even if you chaz it good, maybe they didn't explain it to you well. It says in the pasuk Achayim, the whole pasuk is Achayim. If you read the whole pasuk from the beginning, it says Achayim Yodim Sheyamusu. What does it mean? Achayim Yodim Sheyamusu. Elo tzadikim. Tzadikim are always thinking about the fact that they might die. So therefore, they're busy doing mitzvahs and ma'asim tovim because they know that after they die, they won't be able to do mitzvahs. But why are they? What's up? Pshat Achayim Yodim Sheyamusu. The Dirash is that the tzaddikim are always called Chaim. It doesn't matter if they're alive or not alive. They're always called Chaim. Shebemisasa nikru Chaim. They're also, when they die, the tzaddikim are called Chaim. Shenem, as it says, V'neyo ben Yoyoda, ben Ish Chai. Rav Pa'olim mekaptzil hu hike shnei ari al moyev hu yored v'hike es ari b'toich haboir b'yom ha'shelach. The reason the Ben Ish Chai is called the Ben Ish Chai is because he believed that he was that he had a neshama was from Benayo Ben Yoda. He wrote the two Sforim on Shaz Benayo Ben Yoda. So the Pashta Pshat in the pasuk is that David HaMelech had Geboidim, and the pasuk is describing Benayo, his Gevura was unbelievable. That the Shnei Ari al Moyev, the two generals of Moyev, they was able to kill them. That B'Yom HaShelag, he once met an Ari, similar to the story of Shimshon, very similar to the story of Shimshon, and was a cold day b'toich habar. It's all to emphasize the gevura of the Anshe David, because in a cold day, the line is more dangerous, and the person can come and get zacharuk because he's cold. So, and b'toich habar, there's no room to hide. So it was Sai b'yem ha'shelek, and Sai was b'toich habar, and he was able to get rid of it. He was able to kill the Ari. So it's bringing out the Gevura of Benayo that he was an unbelievable gibur. The Gemara darshans it all in a dirash. What's the pshat? We say that Benayo was Ben Ish Chai. What kind of funny thing is it? Ben Ish Chai, his father was alive, and other people, their fathers, the rest of the world, only he had a father who was alive, and all the other people, their fathers are dead. What's the pshat? Elo. From this word, the Gemara says is a charaya that the whole pasuk has to be darshan in a way of a darash. And the pshat is obviously Pshuta Shemikra had Giborim, and Benayo was a Gibur Gadol, and it's all true. But the Gemara darshans that his real Gvura was not his physical Gvura, that he could kill Ari and kill the Shnei Sorei Moyav, but the emes Gvura was his Tzitkus. Elo ben Ish Chai shafilu misasei kolei chai. That he was a tzaddik ben tzaddik. That his father was a type of person that even b'shasas misa is kolei chai. Rav Paul Mekaptziel. So what's the pshat? He was his fullness were very big, and he was mekabitz. So again, the Gemara darshans sheriba v'kibitz poyel l'toira. He was mekabitz as much as he could he gathered Talmidim, they should learn Torah. He went to places where the Eden were not such big Talmid Chachamim, or if they could learn, they didn't learn that much, they could learn more. And he got Chevra to sit and learn more. They should not only learn, they made Avos Abonim, and he made more Shiurim, and he got the Eden to learn more Torah. Sheriba V'Kibitz, it was Makabas the Eden, that they should learn Torah. And Poilim is Poshet, because the Gemara says, Anan Poilim the Yamoma Anan. That we, Torah to us is a Poilim Atzelim, a Balabai is Doichek. When our limit of Torah is Naif, and we're Poilim. And as I said, the Gemara says, Anam Pola, the Gemara man, the Rebbe Rashab said, the Gemara means Pola de Mama. We have day jobs. We have day jobs. We're working. The Rabban Shalom gives us a day job. The Rabban pays us, he gives us a day job. But the Rebbe Rashab said, Anan Pola de Yomama Anan. Our job is to bring Yoim V'Oid in the Welt. That machen lichtig. That wherever Yid goes, very lichtig. Chazet Avort, Geschmack Avort and Torah. And David Betachai is a very lichtig, Poila the Yamama. So he was a tzaddik that he was Mekabetz Yidden, that they should be Poila the Yamama. V'hu hike Shnei Ariel Moyev. What's of Shad Shnei Ariel? We know the Beis Hamikdash is called Ariel. That no one was as great as him, and the Torah says that you should know, and the Torah is made that the Beis Hamikdash and Sheni, there was no one as great as him. What does that mean? He began in the mikveh, Pasha, like the stories of the Baal Shem Tov. He broke the ice and he went to the mikveh. He broke the ice and he went to the mikveh. So, Pasha Zavid Chassidim, they broke the ice. My grandfather was telling me a story that they were in clandestine, that they had no Breya after 1920, a long time after 1920, and they dispersed. They had little places. So then Polotsk, my Zayda was learning as a bocher with his friends. They had a few mashpim, Rosh Yeshivas, and they were learning in Polotsk. Polotsk had Yiddish shtot. How can you not go to the mikveh? It's in the winter, and the mikvahs got closed, all closed. The communists closed all the mikvahs. In the mikvah, it was out of Shabbos. He had a friend. I forgot, he told me his name. And he had a friend. He said, "Metafkin in mikvahs." They had water carriers in Polotsk. They didn't have, pipes. And the winter, Vukrik Wasser. So the river was frozen. You could go. The Agolas would ride on it. Horse and wagon would ride on it. At Elamai, they used to make big holes in the middle, azay holes, and then they had a few holes, and the Agolas that had the barrels would stop there, and they would go a very inefficient way of getting water. They would go lower the buckets and get water and bring up a bucket, put it in, until they filled up the wagon. And the next, they were waiting like taxis. They're waiting, and they would go. So his father went, and he got somewhere some huge metal pole. And they went in front of the line. That guy as soon as he picked up his thing, so they quickly got undressed, and he held the pole, and the Chaver climbed down, and he toiveled, and he got up. And then the other way, and the Bachrim, all the Bachrim heard of that idea. They all went running with the same pole. Get this going on, Tumul and Polotsk, this crazy kid. This crazies are coming out here. Yeah, the Polar Bear Club. But it's a Gavarna Mahuma, and people were laughing, and were talking, and the Vashtetzacha, people were laughing, and KGB needs to know everything. So they found out, and they chapped that this wasn't the Polar Bear Club. And they realized, unfortunately, that some of them were Nebach, Bnei Yeshiva originally, and then gechapped that this is what the Gemara is talking about. So Mamela, they found out, the Yeshiva found out. They were fortunate to find out that the KGB found out, and they all packed out of town. So it was a nest that they found out that. Yeah.
They were actually toiling, or they were using 40
No, they were toivel. They one bacher held the pole, and the other bacher went down, holding on the pole. Otherwise,
they used the pole
stuck under the ice, and then you climb back up. The kids it's not a.
Yeah,
He was telling me this because it was something about, because I forget who it was. He wanted to tell me about his chaver, and it was Agab Urcha about his friend, a very good. But anyway, about what happened in Polotsk. So this was the story of Ben Ishchai, that Benayo, that before Ezra came along and made this takona. In other words, was much before Takonas Ezra. So it's interesting. So now, also after the Mavatal Takonas Ezra, they're showing them that say that there's this Indian, especially Latfila. And Rabbeinu Yoina says that for Tfila, but we see talk in the Gemara that even before Takonas Ezra, that this was the done thing, that there were Ba'at Tzadikim that went to the mikveh, and that was the story of Benayo, Benochas V'Tovel. Okay. The Tana B'Sifra Dvei Rav B'Yom the Situva, whatever. In the winter, in one winter day at the camp line in the Ganze Toides Koine. But actually, Toisva says this is Ari Dorishu Chomer Shebesvonim. According to the first pshat that he broke the ice and went to the mikveh, Fashtetzach, he's a lion, he's ferocious, like the Tanimim and Polotsk. According to the second, because Ari means he's a lion of all the animals. From all the Svarim, is Toides Koinim is a very difficult sefer, and also it's in the pit. Why is it in the pit? Because there's Bereishis Shmois, and Vayikra is the center. So it was betoich. So he at Arangi Krochen, and what's the chiddush is that in a winter day, like a Sora B'Tevis, which is a small day, they can't uplearn in the Gans Toides Koinim. Is the opposite. Eil Rishoyim Shebachayim Kruim Meisim Shenem B'Va'at Achol Al Rosha Nosi Yisrael, when he desecrated his promise to Nebuchadnezzar, the Navi called him a Chol Al Rosha. Chol means someone who's dead. But Rosha, even when he's alive, is if he's dead. Even when he's alive, he's dead. There's another pasuk clear. What do you mean Yomus Ameis? The dead man will die? He's a dead man walking. Because even though he's still alive, Chayu, Ella Ameis Mikora, because he did it issues. Why is he gonna the Bezin gonna kill him? Because he did it issues. So therefore, Yumas Ameis, because he's a Rosha, he's considered already Ameis. So we see from this Gemara a very important thing, that what the emphasis, those that say the minor lashon, when you go, the Zoya talks about it, Barichas, that he says that tzaddikim b'mesasim kruim chaim and ashayim b'chayim kruim mesim. So what's a Zoya the tumul that Lubavitch says such a thing? So the answer is that the tumul is like this. There's someone that davens here. Mizman Lizman. He's not such a young man. He was in Gan Yisrael, in the 60s, when the Rebbe came to visit the camp. No, not him. Someone else. He was there. Oh, okay. So and there's a story that Rabbi Shem Tov recently told. So he said, "Oh, the story was with me." So he said that the Rebbe was at the camp. Afterwards, it was visiting day. His father was a very choshevet of here at Africa in Brooklyn, a very big shul. A lot of Mispalim was choshevet, Amidim Chaim Berlin. So he told them, "Oh, the Lubavitcher was here, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe said that the Mamish Mashiach is about to come, and we have to do another mitzvah to bring Mashiach." So his father said, "What do you mean the Lubavitcher Rebbe said? I'm telling you this the whole time." So I don't remember the word. We could ask the Bala Maisa. So he said, "No, but the Lubavitcher Rebbe really means it." So Ken Zayin, to really mean it, we have to talk it. That we have to know that Amechkol tzadikim, tzadikim, b'mesasim krim chayim, and Rishoyim b'chayim krim mesa. So Mitzvah Shem will happen. David shall help. It should happen. He didn't say a time. Say a time. Yeah.
The reason that on Shabbos they don't worry about is why.
No, it wasn't about the Meshamer. Shabbos, we're talking about the relative who's not the Meshamer. We're talking about the relative who is organizing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it makes no difference. No, because initially we weren't talking about a Meshamer. We weren't thinking of a Meshamer yet. We're thinking about the Meshamer. We're just, right. The truth is, as we see later in the Gemara, that if he's safe, like in a Sfina, there's no Achborim, there's no Chiv to be Shomer. So, could we? Right. The reason we do a Shomer today is for spiritual things. Because he's locked up in a fridge, there's no Achborim coming in. It's the same like a Sfina. Even Chazal that was saying the
even the hospital, regular hospital.
I'm not sure regular hospital has no Achborim.
There's enough activity. There's enough activity. They're not like running into the flying
You don't know New York.
Comfort in New York.
Okay, good. No, good. But the Gemara talks about Achborim.
In New York, you're right. It's a whole different story.
You know what he meant? Without the tzitzis, but it's outside the arm. You know about this?